SAP career paths. Demystified. Which SAP role is really right for you? Part 1. Everyone gets stuck at the same question in SAP. Almost everyone who enters SAP gets stuck at the same question. Should I choose MM? Should I learn ABAP? Should I become a functional consultant, technical, or something else? And most people try to answer this way too early. That's exactly what this video is about. There is no single correct SAP career path, but there are wrong decisions made at the wrong time. The mistake almost everyone makes at the beginning. When people first enter SAP, they usually think like this: I need to pick a module and stick to it. That sounds logical, but real SAP careers don't work that way, because SAP careers are not linear, not one-directional, definitely not textbook perfect. In real life, people change roles, switch directions, step back and move sideways, and that's completely normal in SAP. Asking, who am I? Too early. One of the most dangerous sentences in SAP is, I am an MM consultant. I am an ABAP developer. I am only technical. When this mindset comes too early, it locks people in. Most people haven't yet seen real projects, experienced different roles, understood their own strengths, but they already label themselves. And once the label sticks, moving becomes harder. SAP roles are much broader than you think. For many people, SAP means only functional consultant, ABAP developer, basis. Yes, these roles exist, but SAP is much bigger than that. As projects progress, communication becomes critical. Decision-making matters more. Business understanding becomes valuable, and some people start realizing things like, I don't enjoy coding, but I understand the system very well. I actually like talking to users and solving their problems. I prefer seeing the big picture, not just details. This is where alternative SAP career paths begin. Why this video matters. This is not a which module pays more video. This is not a do this and get rich video. This is a clarity video. My goal is not to tell you what to choose. My goal is to show you that there is no single correct role in SAP. There is only the role that fits you. What I've seen in real SAP careers. Here's something I can say with confidence. The happiest people in SAP are not the ones who chose the perfect role on day one. They are the ones who understood themselves over time, moved toward their strengths, were not afraid to change direction. SAP rewards flexibility more than early specialization. How you should watch this video. While watching, ask yourself, what type of work drains me the least? Do I prefer people or systems? Does pressure motivate me or exhaust me? Your answers matter more than any module name. What's coming next? In the next part, we'll talk about the classic SAP career paths, but the real version. No hype, no sugarcoating, just reality. Part 2, the classic SAP career paths, the real version. When people talk about SAP careers, the same roles always come up. Functional consultant, technical consultant, basis. These are the classic paths, but they're usually explained in a very clean, unrealistic way. Let's talk about what they actually look like in real projects. Functional consultant, not just process knowledge. On paper, a functional consultant knows the module, understands business processes, configures the system. In reality, the job is much more human than technical. You spend a lot of time talking to users, translating vague requests into system logic, managing expectations if you enjoy, problem solving with people. Explaining complex things simply, being in the middle of discussions, this role can fit you well. But if constant communication drains you, functional consulting can become exhausting fast. Technical slash ABAP more than just coding. Many people think ABAP means sitting quietly, writing code, avoiding meetings. That's only partly true. In real projects, technical consultants explain what's possible and what's not, push back on unrealistic requests, work closely with functional teams. Good ABAP developers don't just code, they understand the business impact of their work. If you like structure, logic, and depth, this path can be very satisfying. But pure isolation is rare in SAP. Basis slash system roles. Invisible but critical basis and system roles are often misunderstood. When things work, nobody notices. When things break, everyone panics. This role fits people who like stability, enjoy infrastructure and control, stay calm under pressure. It's less visible but very powerful. The reality. Most people don't hear. None of these roles are better by default. The problem starts when people choose based on salary rumors, trends, what others recommend. Instead of asking, does this fit how I actually work? In SAP, mismatch causes burnout faster than lack of skill. Why this matters before moving on. These classic paths are just the starting point. Many SAP professionals don't stay here forever. They evolve into project roles, solution roles, hybrid positions. And that's where things get interesting. What's next? In part 3, we'll talk about the less talked about SAP roles, where many careers actually end up. These are the roles most people discover after a few projects. Part 3. The SAP roles. Nobody talks about, but many end up in. After a few real SAP projects, something interesting happens. People stop asking, which module should I choose? And start asking, where do I actually fit in this project? That's usually when these roles appear. Project manager, not just planning and meetings. Many SAP professionals slowly move toward project roles, not because they planned it, but because they naturally start. Coordinating people, connecting topics, seeing the full picture. Real SAP project managers are not just schedulers. They manage pressure, translate chaos into structure, protect the team from unrealistic expectations. If you like responsibility and decision-making, this path often feels surprisingly natural. Solution architect, the big picture role. This role usually comes later. Solution architects understand multiple modules, see integrations clearly, design end-to-end solutions. They don't configure everything themselves. They decide how things should work together. This fits people who think in systems, enjoy complexity, like connecting dots. It's less about details, more about direction. Pre-sales, the bridge between business and SAP. Pre-sales is often overlooked. This role combines SAP knowledge, communication, business understanding. Pre-sales consultants explain solutions, set expectations early, shape projects before they start. If you enjoy explaining, presenting, and influencing, this role can be very powerful. Integration slash BTP roles, growing fast. More SAP landscapes mean more integrations. Integration roles fit people who like logic, enjoy connecting systems, think beyond one module. These roles are technical but also very architectural. They're growing fast and still relatively uncrowded. The common pattern behind these roles. Here's the key insight. People don't move into these roles randomly. They move because their strengths pull them there, their personality fits better, their experience naturally expands. SAP careers evolve more than they switch. Why you don't see these roles at the beginning? Most beginners don't know these roles exist. That's normal. You usually discover them during real projects, through pressure, by noticing what you enjoy most, and that's perfectly fine. What this means for you. If your career feels unclear right now, that's not a problem. It's a phase. Clarity in SAP usually comes from experience, not early decisions. What's next? In part 4, we'll talk about something very practical. Which SAP role fits? Which personality type? This is where things start to click. Part 4. Which SAP role fits? Which personality? One of the biggest mistakes in SAP careers is choosing a role based only on skills. Skills can be learned. Personality is much harder to change. That's why this part matters. If you enjoy talking to people, if you like discussions, don't mind meetings, enjoy explaining things you'll probably feel comfortable in. Functional consulting, project coordination, pre-sales. These roles require patience and communication. Technical depth matters, but people skills matter more. If you hate constant interaction, these roles will drain you over time. If you prefer structure and logic, if you enjoy clear rules, like solving logical problems, feel good when things make sense, technical roles can fit you well. ABIPE, integration, system-related roles. These roles reward focus and depth, but complete isolation is rare, communication still exists. If you like the big picture, some people get bored with details quickly. If you think end-to-end, like understanding how things connect, get frustrated by small repetitive tasks. Roles like solution architect, senior functional lead, integration design may suit you better. These roles grow with experience, not speed. If pressure energizes you, some people perform better under pressure. If you stay calm in chaos, like responsibility, don't freeze when things go wrong. Project roles often feel natural, but pressure without boundaries leads to burnout. Awareness matters. If pressure exhausts you, if pressure drains you, constant escalation, urgent decisions, emotional tension, you may prefer stable technical roles, system-focused work, back-end responsibilities. There's nothing wrong with this. SAP needs both profiles. The key takeaway: there is no better SAP personality. There is only a better fit. Most career frustration comes from mismatch, not lack of talent. What this means long-term: as you gain experience, your preferences become clearer, your tolerance changes, your role may evolve. That's not failure. That's growth. What's next? In part 5, we'll talk about a very common mistake. Why locking yourself into one SAP role too early can hurt your career. Part 5. Why locking yourself into one SAP role too early can hurt your career. One of the most common SAP career mistakes is committing too early, not to SAP itself, but to a single role. The "I am this now" trap. Many people say this after their first project. I'm an consultant now. I'm technical, that's it. At first, this feels safe. You finally have an identity, but early labels can quietly limit growth. Because at this stage, you haven't seen enough, you haven't tried enough, you haven't learned how you react under pressure. Yet the label starts guiding your decisions. How? Early lock-in happens. It usually happens because of the first job you get, the first project you're assigned to, what the market asks from you, not because you consciously chose it. Over time, your CV reinforces it. Recruiters see only that switching feels risky, and suddenly you're stuck, not technically, but mentally. Why SAP careers are naturally nonlinear. SAP careers are designed to evolve. As projects get bigger, communication increases, responsibility expands, decisions matter more. People naturally move from detail to overview, from execution to coordination, from one module to multiple areas. Early lock-in fights this natural evolution. Flexibility is a career advantage in SAP. In SAP, flexibility is not weakness. It means understanding more than one area, being open to adjacent roles, seeing how things connect. Many senior SAP professionals didn't plan their final role, discovered it through experience. Their strength came from range, not early focus. When specialization actually makes sense. Specialization does matter, but usually, after multiple projects, after real exposure, after understanding your strengths. Specializing too early is guessing. Specializing later is choosing. A better question to ask yourself. Instead of asking, what should I become? Ask, what am I learning right now? What direction feels natural? These questions keep doors open. Part 6. How to explore SAP career paths without risking your current job. You don't need to quit your job or make a dramatic move to explore different SAP career paths. In fact, the smartest moves in SAP are usually quiet and low risk. You don't need a new title to learn a new role. Many people think, if my title doesn't change, my career won't change. That's not true in SAP. Inside almost every project, you can. Sit closer to different roles. Observe how decisions are made. Understand responsibilities beyond your scope. You learn a lot just by paying attention. Small exposure beats big decisions. You don't need to fully switch roles. You can join solution discussions. Ask why certain decisions are made. Volunteer for cross-topic tasks. These small exposures build understanding. Reduce fear of change. Show you what you actually enjoy. Most people realize what they want after trying, not before. Use projects as experiments. Think of each project as an experiment. Ask yourself, what part of this project energizes me? What drains me fastest? Where do I feel most useful? Your answers guide your next step, not market trends, not LinkedIn posts. Talking to the right people matters. Career clarity often comes from conversations. Talk to senior consultants, project managers, architects, not to ask, how do I become you? But to understand, what does your role really involve? Reality is more valuable than titles. You don't have to rush. SAP careers are long. There is no prize for deciding early, locking in fast, copying others. Rushing usually leads to regret. Clarity comes from experience, not pressure. What's next? Final part. In part 7, we'll close everything with perspective. How to think about SAP careers long term, without stress. This is where things finally settle. Part 7. How to think about SAP careers. Long term, without stress. At some point in every SAP career, people stop asking, which role should I choose? And start asking, am I moving in the right direction? That's the moment where stress usually appears. But it doesn't have to. SAP careers are long by design. SAP is not a short-term game. Systems stay for years. Companies don't change overnight. Experience compounds slowly. This means you don't need to. Figure everything out early. Have a perfect plan. rush into irreversible decisions. You have time. Direction matters more than speed. In SAP, moving slowly in the right direction beats moving fast in the wrong one. Many people rush because they compare themselves to others. They see titles on LinkedIn. They feel late. But SAP careers reward consistency, not speed. If you're learning and moving forward, you're already on track. Growth is not always vertical. Not every step is a promotion. Sometimes growth looks like broader responsibility, better understanding, stronger confidence. These things don't show on your CV immediately, but they matter long term. Senior SAP professionals rarely grow in straight lines. They grow in layers. Your role can change. Your value remains. Changing roles doesn't mean starting over. Your experience transfers. Business understanding, system logic, communication skills. SAP rewards people who can connect knowledge, not just repeat it. Nothing is wasted. The calm truth about SAP careers. Here's the most important thing to remember. You don't need the perfect SAP role. You need a role that fits you today, room to grow tomorrow, awareness of when things stop fitting. That awareness is what keeps careers healthy. Final thought. If this video helped you see SAP careers differently, then it did its job. Not to give answers, but to remove pressure. SAP is a big ecosystem. There is space to move, to change, and to grow. If you want a clearer SAP career roadmap based on real projects and experience, I've put everything together in one place. You'll find the link in the description.